Hello there, everybody. I am the man they call Doom, or Rithian, whatever you prefer to say. And today I have a very interesting video for you all on how I think CM Punk can come back to the WWE. The way I think he can come back to the WWE is through Shane McMahon. As you all know, Shane McMahon is the GM or CEO or whatever of SmackDown, and with Daniel Bryan. And the way I propose this day coming back is okay. Let's take a little few steps back here to a couple years ago. We all know Triple H does not like CM Punk, neither does Vince McMahon. Neither of the McMahons, even Stephanie McMahon, do not like CM Punk. But the thing is, we're not sure about Shane McMahon. And you know, Shane McMahon is more of a visionary. He likes more he likes to look on the more bright side of things, and he knows talent when he sees it. So having CM Punk coming back into the whole WWE will be pretty difficult, but not very soon in my idea, because CM Punk and the WWE had some bad blood, obviously, because what he did, how he showed them out for some other things, and how they basically fired him on his wedding day, and obviously that's not very good PR on them. So on WWE, and just how he was treated backstage, how he was not treated like a true champion, or like how basically the WWE kind of snubbed him out for The Rock, which The Rock is cool, but hey, I'd rather have CM Punk than The Rock, okay, because I just like CM Punk better, and there goes my Xbox. But coaxing him over from UFC, as you all know, UFC fight was pretty bad. He got destroyed basically, and that's not good. And having a wrestler go into the UFC is not a very new concept. Obviously, Brock Lesnar, what was his other guy's name? Bobby Lashley and Batista. They all went to UFC at one time and competed, and once did pretty well for themselves. But CM Punk on his first fight got completely annihilated, and that's not very good on him, and it's not really good on UFC's part for having someone like him in their company, who is not really as trained as many of the other stars that they have. They like his opponent, and was very trained. And the problem with CM Punk's whole UFC run up to this point, because he left the WWE in 2014. Okay, this is after the Royal Rumble, and at that point on, he was gonna come back because he got suspended, and he was gonna come back, but then they fired him. But with the WWE, they can just have all these other stars that went to UFC, kind of switch their way of opinion on the stars going to UFC, and with them kind of just having the way that they have their stars. See, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Batista, those guys, they did pretty well for themselves in UFC, and I believe that Bobby Lashley is still in the UFC. I'm not completely sure, but hell, he might be or might not. But the whole thing with CM Punk is that the whole WWE, the whole management does not like him very well. Okay, let's put that at the least. They don't like him very well. They don't like him very much, and this is because the whole tension that they've had backstage, and just the way CM Punk didn't like how, like I said, he was being basically shrilled over for The Rock, because they rather prefer The Rock guy come back and treat him like a champion, even though when he wasn't champion, and had him lose at Royal Rumble 2013. And this is kind of a whole bad tension between them. Like I said, I'm repeating myself now, because they really couldn't really lose CM Punk, because he was one of their biggest stars at the time as well, along with John Cena. But CM Punk was kind of that whole anti-hero at the time. And how was this tying in with Shane McMahon? Well, he can probably tie up a relationship, a temporary relationship with Shane McMahon and the whole management to get him to coax him over back to the WWE, because the way that it is now, the new era, it's pretty good. I like it. It's not bad. It's not great. It's good. It's right in the middle. But a couple more stars that left will do very well, like CM Punk, because he kind of changed that whole era from what was wrestling was kind of not doing very well at the time. From 2011 to whenever he left, it was pretty good, and because the Summer Punk and everything when he won the championship, and the whole best times of wrestling was that whole era when he was champion, the 379 days or whatever like that. And he can, maybe, talk to Shane O'Mac, or Shane O'Mac can get in contact with him, and, discuss a whole, maybe a contract, with the WWE. Because Shane McMahon, most people know that he's the best McMahon to work for. He is the most nicest and most respected McMahon. No, not like probably next to Vince, because Vince McMahon is the boss. He's the COO of everybody. So of course you want to be nice to him, and he has all the respect and everything, since he is like one of the biggest company men in the WWE. But with Shane McMahon, like many superstars have quoted this, saying that he's the most politest, most respectful, most respecting guy in most McMahon that you can work for, because his genuineness to the company. And Shane McMahon just wants to run a wrestling company. God damn it, he just wants to run one, and he's kind of gonna get that chance, since SmackDown is basically his show. He controls SmackDown, so he can bring in new stars, new talent to his show to be on that one program, and he can probably like I said, to probably do it behind the backs if he's that risky with it. Probably might lose his job, or probably not, because he can kind of do anything at this point, since he is one of the second biggest figureheads. He's the son of Vince McMahon, and he can just maybe change up some of the relations that they have with CM Punk. Maybe patch up a relationship with the WWE with what they've had with CM Punk, and kind of make a whole agreement of how CM Punk will be treated more like a star instead of these lower guys, because there's so many great matches that we can have with CM Punk with Seth Rollins, solo, CM Punk Ambrose, CM Punk and AJ Styles, which would be a really good one. CM Punk and AJ Styles, the best in the world versus the phenomenal one, not me, no, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. And that'd be really cool to see, because CM Punk, he's one of the best workers that the WWE have had throughout the years. And Shane McMahon didn't really see a lot of CM Punk, time in the WWE, since around CM Punk's time, like from 2009, was around when Shane O'Mac left for the first time, and coming back in 2016, a little host about 7 years ago, he left and returning this year. And that can hold, maybe get some whole thing, a ball rolling for these two guys, and Shane O'Mac can treat him like the star he never was, because he's a better McMahon to work for, said by most of the whole wrestlers and people backstage, because like I said, he's probably one of the nicest. And he can probably just change up some things too. CM Punk, if he ever does sign the contract, maybe he can get a rematch title shot or whatever. I'm not really in control of that. Maybe he could, because CM Punk, he is a great performer. Everybody knows that, and everyone's clamoring for CM Punk return, because like whenever, like I remember at the Clash of Champions, it was Rusev and Roman Reigns. The crowd started chanting CM Punk because it's boring. The crowd chants CM Punk when they don't want to see something they don't want to see. They either chant another wrestler's name or CM Punk, how they did at Extreme Rules in Chicago. CM Punk chants basically throughout the whole night, because in Chicago, Illinois, where CM Punk is from. It's from Chicago. Well, CM, Chicago made Punk. That's the whole thing for it. But besides that point, CM, it'll be good to have him back, because he is truly great, and he's kind of what got me back to watching wrestling. Because after a while, I kind of stopped watching from like 2008, from like whenever I started watching him when he first won the championship. Whenever I watched one episode of Raw, I was like, oh no, what's going on with this? And I see this guy, CM Punk, holding the belt, and they're talking, last night when he won the championship, yeah. I don't remember when it was, it was 2012 or late 2011. But, in conclusion, CM Punk needs to come back to the WWE. He is great. He is one of my favorites, and, he can, strike a whole thing with Shane O'Mac, get a ball rolling for a contract, get in contact with him, and hopefully make a return sometime for these great matches before these great guys leave. Because AJ Styles, he's like 38 years old. I know that Roman is that Seth Rollins is 29. These guys still pretty young, but still, they can still get injured or be forced to retire from injury. But besides that point, Shane O'Mac, try to get a deal with CM Punk, because he needs to come back. He's cool, he's great. Vince and friends may not like him, but you definitely can make him come back to WWE if you promise him the right things that he'll be interested in. But yeah, that's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to paint it black, and I'll see you all next time.